Shabbat Shalom to each and every one of you. Welcome and welcome again to this weekly reading of our weekly parasha Ha'azinu. So I would just like to thank each and every one of you who are here and listening. Welcome to this Shabbat stream. I am so much thankful for your presence here. So this program is brought to you by Siomai King, ang hari ng siomai. Mangbox, lechon, perfect for everyday lunch. And copper mask, the new norm mask. Your safety is our priority. And Ninja Ion, breathe safe, clean air. So welcome again, and I hope that you all have a great day wherever you are. So we're just gonna have to start our weekly reading as we supposed to be doing. All right, so here I am again, and it has been a week since the last time we have seen each other. And this weekly portion is Ha'azinu. So in last week's parasha, Vayelech, Moses finished his long address to the people of Israel and commissioned Joshua to be his successor. And the Lord then foretold that after Moses' death, the Israelites would whore after foreign gods and break covenant with him. In light of this, Moses was instructed to teach the Israelites a great prophetic song called the Ha'azino. And for us to have Ha'azino in our mind, the most meaning is Ha'azino is a song. Moses sang this song to the Jewish people on the day he passed away, singing to them about their experiences together, rebuking them for the things they done wrong, and reminding them that even though God gets very angry at their sins, he will always come back to his people. Here are some quotes from the song, which is called, like the parasha itself, by its word ha'azinu. In English, it means listen. Remember that because it is a song, the words are sometimes unusual, with many metaphors and figures of speech. So this weekly parasha is a reminding of how God took care of them. Because the Lord's portion is his people Jacob, he found them in a desert land and in a desolate, howling wasteland. He encompassed them and bestowed understanding upon them. And it also speaks about the rebuke and criticism. You forgot the mighty rock who bore you. You forgot the God who delivered you. So basically, it speaks a lot about the trouble or the journey of the Israelites. So it's very important for us to remember that. And this speaks also about God's anger at their sins. And the Lord saw this and became angry, provoked by his sons and daughters. And he said, I will hide my face from them. And for the last part of the Ha'azino chapter or parasha, in the end, God will come back to his people. Sing out praise, O you nations, for his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. Right. So maybe we're just gonna have to jump right through the topic about Ha'azino. Heaven and earth are witness of God's greatness. So for the reading, it speaks about his greatness and how he brought the people from their past. We can see from Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 1, Moses says, "Oh, listen, O heavens, and I will speak, and let the earth hear the words of my mouth. My lessons will drip like rain, and my word will flow like dew." So, in these first stanzas, you can see that in every word that we speak, the heavens and the earth hear every word we say. So everything that we speak from our mouth has actually a an effect over our environment. It has an effect over our surrounding. It has an effect over our community. It's very important to be careful on what we say, what we speak, because the heaven is the witness and the earth can hear us. Don't you know that it is actually true? Because when we speak something evil about other people, they sometimes can fly away to another, and we have to be careful. Our history can speak about God's protection and provision. So this you may find in Deuteronomy 32, 7 to 12. Remember the days of old, reflect upon the years of other generations. Ask your father, and he will tell you, your elders, and they will inform you. It's very important for us to recognize our history. It's important that we know where we're coming from so that we will not repeat the same mistakes our forefathers did. Their mistakes should be our guide. It should be our reminder so that we could make a better solution to change our lives and to change our perspective in life. And also, knowing our history can create a better attitude for us, isn't it? It will create a better attitude on how we can create a new environment for our children, for our future generations. Mostly when we are blessed, we forget God. And that is absolutely true because many times when we experience fat lives, I say fat lives because in the Bible, we can see it here in Deuteronomy 32 from verse 13 to 18. It says here that, and Jeshurun became fat and rebelled. All right. So when we became blessed, we sometimes forget where we're coming from. We forget the things that brought us to where we are now, and we become rebellious. We sometimes do what we want. We sometimes do what is against the law or what is right. And sometimes we actually do the things that we prefer is right, but actually are wrong. And in our rebellious behavior, we became provocative. Isn't it sometimes provocative behavior is our only resort to become prideful of our achievements? And therefore, this kind of character is actually the things that we should learn to uh, to put away and to put away from our lifestyle. And I would like to remind each and every one of you to become observant of your lifestyle, of your life, of who you are. Remember where God have brought you from. Remember the purpose of your life, right? Never forget that in every achievement you receive, it was God who gave you the strength. It was God who gave you the life. And everything you have now are temporary. Your life is something that God had invested you so that you will not forget God. It's not about going to church all the time, but it's about how you are as a person, how thankful you are. Our disrespectful acts and provocative behavior can cost our lives. Let's jump to Deuteronomy 32, 19 to 28. Okay. There is a verse here that determines our future. It says here, the Lord saw this and became angry, provoked by his sons and daughters. What did he see? Okay, let's get back. God saw that when people become rebellious, they become provocative. They forsook God. It means that they disregard what is right. They disregard the human standard, the moral standard, and then we provoke in becoming worshiping the deities and with abomination deeds. What are these abomination deeds that God really, really hate and that can provoke him? Number one is actually um, serving gods that are made of wood or of stone. Number two is committing adultery or committing as well um, bribery or stealing from other people. Number three is killing people, killing them by deeds or by words, making false witnesses. And I think you know these kinds of standard law or standard rules. If you read the Exodus 25 or in Deuteronomy about the Ten Commandments, these are the basic moral standards that each and every one of us should learn. And they are even written in every countries. What are the things we should learn so that it will be a peaceful community? These things actually are one of the things that provoke God. If we do not respect our parents, if we do not respect the animal life, if we do not respect our nature, these are the things that gives a heart for God to care, you know? These are the things that can provoke him if we just disregard them. So therefore, it can cost our lives, because when we don't care about these things, it will actually destroy our environment. It will destroy humanity, the behavior, you know. And I think that all of us has this special, we have this special ways to contribute on how our world can become a better place for each and every one of us. So why not let us begin to reflect upon our faith? I think it's very important to reflect upon who we were, what we were been doing, and who are we going to be in the future. Because if we reflect on our faith, we will realize that we can change the world. When we do so, we will realize that we will not be focusing on the failures of others. We will be focusing on how we can contribute good to others, on how we can contribute a blessing, how to become a blessing to others by changing our lives, by changing our attitude, by changing our mindset, by becoming an inspiration, a motivational person. I know that you as well, while you are listening, you have that hidden speech in your heart. You have that hidden power that you can actually share to those people around you. You might be hiding those words within you. And I believe you can inspire and change the world only if you discover that soul to be lightened up. It's a God spirited soul. If you allow it, if you allow it to rise up from within your heart. And as we reflect to these things, you can actually read this in Deuteronomy chapter 32 in 29 to 39. As we reflect on these things, we can actually look at the failures that our forefathers have done, the mistakes of our parents. We don't need to look far. The mistakes that we have done ourselves, those past things, it's not bad to recognize them. It's not bad to remember them because they are good to be remembered so that we will not be lost into this world, you know? And then by this, we will realize that even though we have suffered a lot of things due to our mistakes, we suffer the consequences. God can cause us life, can God can cause death, and God can grant life. He strike, but he heal. And from this life we only have one, so it's best to do what is right. It is our purpose to reflect very well, to choose life, to choose what is right. There are many circumstances in our lives that we have chosen what is wrong. There are also circumstances we have chosen what is right, but mostly the wrong things have brought us too long in our journey with our God. And now we're just gonna go on to the sixth topic. The Lord repays our good and evil deeds. It's very important for us to recognize that in this world or in this life, there are many things that happens, and in every good or bad, there are consequences and there are results. I believe that most people refine this as a karma. I don't believe in karma. What I believe is if you do what is right, you will harvest the result of what you do. If you do what is bad, if you do what is evil, of course, it will come out later. Nothing can be hidden, nothing can be kept secret. Everything has its time and it will come out. So the Lord repays our good and evil deeds. So let's say, let's read this word. It says here that the Lord will consume the flesh from the blood of the slain and the captives from the first breach of the enemy. And he bring vengeance upon his adversaries. Who are God's adversaries? God's adversaries are those who do what is against humanity, what is against their spiritual purposes. Our spiritual purposes is to do what is right, even though we are uncomfortable of it. Because mostly we think that things are right for us, even though it will destroy our lives. It's very important to recognize the differences between them, because if not, we will actually commit wrong decisions. So the Lord repays both good and evil. And mostly, if you do what is right and you do what is good, You don't have to be worried about your life because you will sleep very well in the night. But if you do what is evil, it will haunt you. If you keep it in secret, it will haunt you. And in perfect timing, no secret is always hidden because the earth and the heavens will voice it out. It's very important for us to remember that. Now let's get on to the next. So, what are we going to do so that we will recognize how to know that heaven and earth is the witness of God's greatness, and how to know that our history can speak about God's protection and provision? That mostly when we are blessed, we forget God. That our disrespectful acts and provocative behavior can cost our lives. The best thing to do is to set our hearts to His word so that we may live long. So the words that I would speak today is about Moses' song. He said like this: set your hearts to all of the words which I bear witness for you this day, so that you may command your children to observe to do all the words of this Torah. For it is not empty thing for you, it is your life. And through this thing you will lengthen your days upon the land to which you are crossing over the Jordan to possess it. So this means that we should recognize these things in our hearts. We should live it. I know that you will think it's kind of easy for me to say it because I'm just here in front of the microphone. But the truth is, I have lived this life for a very long time. I have practiced it. I have been through many things in life. It is kind of strong for me to say it because I know the feeling of doing mistakes, committing things that I am very ashamed of speaking to or articulating them. I can't even articulate those things. But the day I set my heart onto the words of God, it was the day I realized that I want to be away from religious life. It was the day I realized I have to live the faith that I have been talking about. So I want to encourage each and every one of you, whether you are a leader, whether you are a follower of Christ, whether you are just a normal believer, there's always chances. God gives you opportunity all the time. Don't waste it. Set your hearts so that you may live long. Right, so for the next time, we will have Vezot HaBeracha and this blessing. Since we have been talking about giving ear to the commands of God, we're gonna go on to the blessings. It will be in the chapter of Deuteronomy 33, from verse 1 34:12. And for this portion, I'm gonna read you one of the extra portion. Return, O Israel, to the Lord your God, for you have stumbled in your iniquity. Take words with yourself and return to the Lord. Say, you shall forgive all iniquity and teach us the good way. Let us render for the bulls and offering of our lips. So what we will gonna offer to the Lord is our hearts, our mind. Let's ask for forgiveness for the things that we have done. Let us recognize for once and for all in our lives that we have done mistakes. Let us recognize and put down our pride. Let us come to God by saying things without making any reason at all. Right? And for the highlights, I want to read Micah chapter 7, verse 18. Who is a God like you, who forgives iniquity and passes over the transgression of the remnant of his heritage? He does not maintain his anger forever, for he desires loving kindness. So if you are there thinking that God is angry at you all the time, God does not keep his anger forever. God forgives. And God returns and grants us compassion. He shall hide our iniquities, and you shall cast into the depths of the sea all the sins. So he shall give us the truth of Jacob, the loving kindness of Abraham, and which he swore to our fathers from the days of yore. So let us remember that God forgives, that God is gracious. If we return to him, he will open up his arms. Our spiritual frailties, all of us has this. And no one of us are exempted, neither I. No matter how good we are in reading the Bible, no matter how good we are in talking, we know for a certain that when we are alone, our conscience are speaking. So that's it for today, and I hope that you enjoyed and you've learned things for this week. So, by the way, thank you so much for your kindness, and I'm so much glad that you all are here and listening. I hope that I will see you again for the next time, right? So, God bless you, everyone, and I hope to see you again.